Veto threat. The governor's office says that stands with a PFD threat, but we're learning hours after the education funding bill passes.
I'm Quinn White in Anchorage, where students are asking lawmakers to raise the base student allocation.
Families of two Unalaska teens killed in a horrific crash reacting after a mistrial declared in the case.
And new weather warnings are and advisories in effect tonight ahead of back-to-back storms moving in this weekend. I'll let you know what to prepare for.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Well, good evening. The veto threat still stands. That's from the governor's office. Just hours after the legislature passed a $250 million education funding increase.
Now, while supporters say House Bill 69 gives schools desperately needed funding, tonight the governor said that the bill will directly take from the PFD. The House narrowly passed the stripped-down version of the bill that the Senate passed this morning. After days of debate, there are no policies within it. It just adds a $1,000 per student increase known as the BSA, or base student allocation, for students across Alaska. Multiple amendments were rejected as the debate played out.
Some people say that increasing the BSA to $1,000 is a joke. And I'm here to tell you, increasing class sizes all across Alaska is not a joke. 11 straight years of out-migration in the state is not a joke. Laying off hundreds of teachers if we don't significantly increase education funding is not a joke.
Members from both caucuses of this body and the other body have worked very, very hard to look at policy issues that would lead to improvements. I believe all four caucuses, the two from each body, have people on both sides that bring a lot of value and attention to detail to the matter, and that all four caucuses have things that need to be in there. And so I look forward to supporting a final package in the end that will do just that.
Well, the governor's office said in a statement that the bill is a joke, threatening that a veto still stands. The governor also said lawmakers do have more time to pass what he called a reasonable bill.
Students walking out in support of education funding. High school students across the state, including Fairbanks and Anchorage, are asking state leaders to support House Bill 69, which would raise the amount of money districts would receive per student. Quinn White has the story in Anchorage.
West High is just one of the schools taking part in walkouts today. Students are using this as an opportunity to share their message, asking to raise the student base allocation.
We're really asking for people to work across the aisle and to work with the governor.
West High senior Edison Wallace Moyer asking lawmakers to pass House Bill 69, specifically $1,000 added to per student funding.
We don't have a specific number that we're asking for. We just really, really want to see an increase to the BSA because that is a permanent increase to funding.
It comes at a time where the Anchorage School District faces a deficit of more than $107 million headed into the next school year. Hundreds of staff positions and several special programs are among the list of cuts.
I am a band student, and I am also in a lot of extracurriculars that are being taken away.
Some students, like Emery Mitchell, also worried their teachers may have to move schools, which the district calls displacement.
A lot of the teachers that are trying to get displaced are a lot of my favorite teachers, so I wouldn't want the rest of my high school years without the programs that I love and the teachers that I care about.
And it's heartbreaking, truly.
It's tough for many of these students.
You may think like, oh, well, this doesn't affect me, so I shouldn't care about it. But it does.
Senior Leo Day says every Alaskan has a stake.
It's going to affect your children. It's going to affect your friends. It's going to affect the people around you who need this funding in their schools to have the best education, to be able to learn.
Now these students wait to see what comes next. Quinn White, Alaska's news source.
In a statement, the Anchorage School District said they support students' right to free speech. We will continue to watch what happens to the governor's veto threat. The quickest way to sign up is to get through our push alerts to find out more.
And I want to take you outside, show you those live conditions right now. Clouds still building into Anchorage. Dry conditions for most of the afternoon, even some nice sun breaks. But we do still have some showers in the area. Temperatures right now making it up to 33 degrees. Winds out of the west at just 6 miles per hour. Of that radar, it has been active. And you can see those showers pushing here across Cook Inlet, right into Turning an Arm. Seeing some snow pushing in here as you head across Fire Island. Continue to track these showers pushing to the north. So one more quick burst of snow. Not expecting more than an inch before that storm is wrapped up. It's also still delivering snow just north and east of Fairbanks, where a winter storm warning is still in effect for the upper Koyukuk Valley. And out west, we are seeing snow and wind on the way from the lower Yukon all the way into Good News Bay. And another storm headed for the Aleutians and the Alaska Peninsula. That one will also bring rain, snow, and wind to south central coming up this weekend. We're already seeing that moisture pushing across the Aleutians. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s and low 40s there. Snow coming down in St. Paul. But clear conditions from Nome into Bethel. That'll change as we head into tomorrow. Anchorage, we will still again see those chances for snow showers here over the next couple of hours, but dry, even partly sunny to start our Saturday. Dry conditions into the afternoon, but be prepared for the winds to ramp up tomorrow evening ahead of that next storm. Temperatures in the mid 40s for Fairbanks and Juneau, low 30s in Bethel tomorrow. And I'll have a look at that closer statewide forecast here in a few minutes.
Well, you're about to hear from the mother of one of two teens killed in a fatal crash back in 2019. A mistrial declared for 24-year-old Dustin Ruckman for his involvement in the crash. Ruckman facing 2 counts of criminally negligent homicide.
I miss my daughter. I wake up every morning thinking of her and missing her every night. So to me, this it's hurtful. But I have to accept what came out of the outcome,
18-year-old Kira and 16-year-old Carly McDonald were the 2 teens who died when Ruckman says that he lost control of his truck while driving up Unalaska's Mount Ballyhoo. Truck toppled over the cliffside, falling about 900 feet. Ruckman told police he was thrown from the truck, but the 2 girls remained inside. Both the state and defense declined to comment because the case is still pending. The prosecution confirmed a status hearing is set for May, where it will then be decided if the case will be tried again.
This is a huge deal. This base is actually 1,000 miles further west than Hawaii. Most people have no idea of the geography.
Senator Dan Sullivan talking about a decommissioned naval base on Adak, the most western municipality in the United States. The senator points to recent actions by China and Russia for the need to reopen the base and says that top military commanders agree. In a hearing of the Armed Services Committee on Thursday, Sullivan pressed the commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific, who committed to working to reopen the base.
Russia's Pacific Fleet in Russia frequently takes that Great Circle route through Alaska.
Yep.
And it would enable up to 10x the maritime patrol reconnaissance aircraft coverage of that key and increasingly effective or increasingly contested space.
This is a really important strategic piece of real estate that now we can set up subs, surface warfare ships, and aircraft to jump them when they're coming into our territory much, much quicker.
Sullivan says there's interest from the state of Alaska and the Aleut Corporation, as well as top Navy officials. A request for comment from the Aleut Corporation has not yet been answered. Sullivan hopes to hear of a working plan within the next 2 weeks. And still ahead is the last great race in jeopardy. We're going to speak with the Iditarod race director live on the challenges that lie ahead for the competition and how you can help right now.
Alaska's news source.
It's an iconic event that consumes our attention for the first 2 weeks of March every year. And now the Iditarod Trail Committee is warning next year's race might be in jeopardy.
Joining us now, longtime race director Mark Nordman. Mr. Nordman, thank you for being here. In a letter to supporters, it says that you've weathered coordinated attacks that have cost over $4 million in sponsorship revenue. Can you talk about these coordinated attacks and where they're coming from?
I think any event of our stature, you're always going to look for the biggest event to take a run at. And yes, we have had from animal rights activists and different organizations not approving what we do. Of course, we know in Alaska here it's such an iconic event and we have such a great support. We want to make sure that we continue having this race in the status that it is right now. It's an expensive race to run. It's very expensive to run for the mushers also. So I think that when it comes to people that don't like what we do, come and watch us. Come and take a look. These dogs are wonderfully taken care of in our program. I'd stand up to it any day. So I think going forward, we're just plugging away and making sure the Iditarod is what it's always been.
And it's only April. How worried are you at this point that the race is able to sustain itself?
Oh, there is no question that we will be starting the Iditarod in March of 2026. I think our problem is to keep up at the level that we have for our fans, for the mushers themselves, which of course is so important, and ultimately the dogs. So it's something that we're putting up a plea out for people to get involved with buying our raffle tickets. I think our sponsorship venue has changed over the years, maybe more corporate, but now we're realizing that people really do want to step up and support the last great race.
And Mark, you mentioned the raffle tickets. How can people step up beside raffle tickets, maybe to help the process?
Yeah, you go onto our Facebook page for sure, just the Iditarod Trail Committee, and also our www.iditarod.com. There's a way that you can actually call in to buy raffle tickets. You can do it online. And also at the Matsu Outdoorsman Show this weekend out at the Menard Center. That's always our big push. It's a great celebration of what's coming for the summer for everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody out there too.
All right, Mark, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Let's go live to Fairbanks now for some military appreciation.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson is there, and 55 years of celebrating the military. Adrian.
All right, that's indeed true. We are here in Fairbanks at the 55th Annual Military Appreciation Banquet, and it's an event that's been going on since the 1960s. Now, I have with me right now First Lieutenant
Joshua Babb.
And Joshua Babb is one of those service members being honored tonight for his service here in the Golden Heart community. Now, Josh, tell me a bit about why you're being honored.
I'm currently the executive officer at Charlie Troop of the 5th Squadron, 1st Cavalry Regiment, and being recognized for my service in the squadron since I arrived in 2022.
You've been here a good while then, and that's certainly something we appreciate here in the Golden Heart community. Now, Josh, this event has been going on for decades. Why is it important to the military community?
It's important to the military community because we've been here for a long time, since it was Ladd Army Airfield. So the relationships between the community and the Army have been going on for a while, and it's important that we continue to grow those with events like these.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Joshua, and congratulations.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.